we are not a God as God. We are in the image, only means shape, spiritual shape, which we can't comprehend of what that shape is, since you have never seen a God personally. But God teaches truth. And let's continue with verse 3 of Genesis chapter 1. We're looking for lies and truth. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was. Now this is before the creation. I will come to the point. This is in the beginning, before there was, that God is doing this. You can't put something out there that you haven't planned to do unless you know what it is you want to do, right? So then you must plan before you do something. See, your imagination, you couldn't do anything unless you imagine how to do it and tried it, like scientists do and everything. So did God. God, before there was, he thought of things that he would do before he decided to do it. Make sure you understand this is prophecy. Verse 4 of chapter 1, Genesis. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, which is 12 hours, if you didn't know that, not 24/7, like we're being taught, that there's 24 hours a day. But what does the Word of God say here? In verse 5 of Genesis 1. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. That was a separation. And the evening and the morning was the first day. See, from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down, that's a full day. Not 24 hours, 12. Look in your New Testament. God speaks this to his followers. There is but 12 hours in one day. Ask any minister if he ever taught you this. There's not 24 hours in a day. Continuing. So that was a lie too, written by man right here, about 24 hours a day. And God said, verse 6, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Do you understand what this means? This means that once God planned how to create the earth and to nourish it, a mist came up from the heat of the earth, since it was had been on fire, and God cooled it down. How did he cool it down? He caused a mist from the heat to hit the cold of the heavens. This was his plan. And the mist would gather itself of elements above the earth and cause rain. And rain would fall down upon the earth, and it would cool the earth down. This is God's plan, not yours. And I can explain how it's done. Pray for the gift. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be given unto you to know about God's face, which is the heavens. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Now, do you understand that? That means the waters of the heaven, from the mist that came up from the heat and met the ice, which is the cold, fell upon the earth, and it caused the earth to flood, and this was called rivers.
Now, before I go any further, I will be cutting in and out on some of my subjects so that you will follow me. Now, what I would like for you to do to make things perfectly clear about what is a day to man and what is a day to God and what is a generation. A generation is 1,000 years, not 100. See, the generations in chapter 2 I will explain. Now, I want everyone to take their King James Bible or whatever Bible you've got, Gideon, whatever, and go to St. John chapter 9. And I want you to read this quote. I'm going to do it for you, and then you'll understand the way I teach. Verse 9 of chapter 11 of St. John. Quote the word of God in the flesh. "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world." Hear what I'm saying? In the daytime when there's light, you see of this world only. "But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him." Speaking of yourself. The same as the day is light, and you see the things that God created for you to see. It goes for the night. When you sleep, you have dreams and visions. And also you see, even without the moon, the creation of God and his works. This means that you won't stumble in the dark if you're in the spirit, in a deep sleep, such as Job chapter 33. But you can stumble in the dark of the earth because the light has moved away. And you need a light. That's why you have electricity, burn fires, and etc., to see, right? All right? Let's continue on with this text. Text 2, the book of Genesis. Truth or false? Or false liars misinterpreting the true way to teach the word of Adonai, Elohim, from the Torah, not the King James, but the Torah, which was handed down by the law of Moshe, the holy messenger, and Elijah that went up in the fiery chariot. Continuing.
Waters. And when he said, let it divide the waters from the waters, it means that the rain from heaven would fall upon the earth into the rivers. And the rivers would flow into a flat, predicted place that God wanted it, which would be called the sea. Everybody knows that the water in the sea came from the fresh waters of the land. When it rained upon the land, that's why you see floods and all sorts of damaged property from tsunamis and hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff. This is the water from heaven raining up on the earth to cool it down, and it started flowing down the mountains of the earth that once was void and without form, and it flowed out into a plain which is 3/4 the size of the earth, and we call that the sea. The fresh water goes from the land to the sea, and it becomes salted, and it's called a sea. And each time the wind blows from the mouth of God, it picks up those waters from the sea up into the clouds, and the wind blows it back in upon the land. You understand what I'm saying? And this
Stop. Time allotted for YouTube. This in text 2. Continuing on. Next segment. Text 3. The book of Genesis. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4. And this ends text 3, and we will continue on now with chapter 4. I'm Lee the teacher. I have living water, which was promised. What I did, I seek the kingdom of heaven first. And I waited and waited and prayed and prayed. And God, for sure, Adonai, is not slack in his coming. Your portion comes when it's due, if it's due, because you're judged according to thou shalt and thou shalt not. Pause. Lee, the teacher, 2009 of February.